Hello, gorgeous souls. This live is to deep dive into one of the gifts that March is bringing. So before I tell you about this first gift of perspective, I want to share that every month I look into the energetic field and I pull forward the themes that feel like they're going to be the most supportive to the conscious creators who resonate with my words. So I have a full energy update that I will be dropping tomorrow. It's already up on YouTube. If you go and take a look at Radiant Evolution with Aurora Light, you can find it there. I'll also be posting it tomorrow. And in this, when I felt into the energy field of March, it was like, oh, okay, there are 3 specific gifts that are coming. And I go into each of them in the energy update. But today I want to speak even more about the first gift, which is perspective. Tomorrow I will do my live on talking more about responsibility, the second gift. And then on Tuesday, I'll be speaking into acceptance, which is the third gift that March is bringing us. So, perspective. The very first thing that came through when I looked into that energy field of March was that people are being tasked with the opportunity to really widen their perspective and really cultivate the capacity to both zoom in to the finer details and also zoom out to see the big picture. And to do that with a neutral lens, right? The divine neutrality that we've spoken of before, so that we can see things from both that close-up perspective with compassion and the higher perspective with the grand vision. This energy is basically like the master class, or one of the 3 master classes that we're going through in March for humanity. And some people are already really awesome at that. And for them, they're just going to be really like fine-tuning their capacity to be able to hold both at once multidimensionally. So if you are someone who already knows how to zoom into the details and look at the individual and the circumstances and the experiences that are in front of you and have compassion for them, and also zoom out to the higher perspective and understand how things are happening in the grand scheme, what you're going to be practicing is being able to multidimensionally see them both at once, to hold them both at once, rather than zooming in and zooming out and having to do that like consciously. There's going to be a broadening of your capacity in March to hold this. And it's because there are really intense circumstances in the world that are going to be offering you this opportunity. The world events that are currently occurring, like the war in the Ukraine, and of course all of the other, in Ukraine. Old habits die hard, but it's not the Ukraine anymore. That was back in the USSR times. As well as all of the conflicts that are happening around the world, and then all of the other situations as well, looking at different personal events, geopolitical events. We're getting just all of this opportunity to practice having these perspectives and to be able to hold more than we have held in the past, because there's so much happening at once. Part of this speed up of all of these events happening at once is because everything is being shaken up to the surface that cannot lie underneath all like the unseen layers of human society. Everything is being stirred up and shaken so it can be healed. And part of that healing is to witness. It is to observe. It is for humanity to see all of it. The good, the bad, the terrible, and the glorious, right? To be able to witness all of the things and be able to hold them. We are stretching and expanding our capacity to hold the larger perspective, and also at the same time to have the perspective from the first person, from human to human, heart to heart, as I was speaking into yesterday, which is one of the greatest opportunities of this time. Now that we have social media and this ability to connect human to human across the globe, people around the world aren't other. We see into their lives and we see how, while we can be so different, we are also so the same. There is so much that connects us. There's more that connects us than what separates us. And we're being gifted these beautiful perspectives into people's lives. And it's an opportunity that not everybody is going to take. But I implore you to have the heart open as you connect heart to heart and soul to soul with people on the individual level. And also when you zoom out to that higher perspective, the visionary perspective that we were practicing back in February, where I said that this was the month of the visionary, to practice flying high and to be in that eagle eye or highest self perspective of seeing the all of it. I didn't know this was coming, but I knew that that was going to be important for the conscious creators and the change makers and the lighthouse leaders to practice. And here we are where it is such an essential task for us to be able to hold both, to be able to hold that fine detail, compassionate energy of connecting and seeing through another person's eyes and understanding their experiences to the best of our ability, with the compassion in our hearts, with the understanding that, of course, we're never going to fully understand, because we can't unless we also live through something. We'll just make the closest approximations than we ever have, that we have available to us. We can use our imagination, but we can never truly understand what someone else is going through. But we can hold them with our perspective and see them and feel them with that heart open without the judgment, so that we can be in that neutral space and be witness to humanity. We can also do the exact same thing with holding that heart open when we are zooming out to the higher perspective, to be able to see the grander scale of things and how it's all working out. So in this first gift that March is bringing, that capacity to, for many people, to multidimensionally be able to hold the higher perspective, that visionary perspective, and also the fine details, we're going to be learning and expanding just our ability to hold it all, right? And it's a practice, and you won't be able to hold it all. You won't be able to expand your energy in that way at first. It is something we practice and we cultivate. And also for the people that are not used to doing the zoom in or the zoom out, who typically get either really stuck in the fine details and don't zoom out to see the bigger picture, or vice versa, they're going to be offered many opportunities to practice shifting that perspective with the back and forth, because they are equally important. And of course, the perspective of every other level and layer along the way. So as we're practicing this, we get to support ourselves first, because we can't see clearly if we are spinning, if we are completely stressed out, if we are not on our axis and on our center. So I encourage you in this month of being able to play with perspectives, in order to be able to hold it all and see with clear vision and that open heart. You have to get yourself into a stable place. That means not neglecting the human, okay? It means that throughout these really interesting and challenging times, they're just taking so much energy. You take care of your human first. The body needs the rest, the nourishment, if you're able to. And certainly some people are in situations where that is so difficult. And we need to encourage them to still take care of their human form, right? As much as possible. Sleep, food, right? Water, rest, time to de-stress and calm the nervous system, right? Breath work, movement, yoga, whatever does it for you to bring you out of that heightened stress response and into a soft and relaxed nervous system. So if you're able to, and if you're in a space where it is safe to do so, you can let your nervous system relax, right? If we're in that activated nervous system all the time, shields up, fight or flight, then our bodily systems that are not directly related to our survival get shut down. Our immune system, right? Our digestive system. None of these things work well when we are in that really activated, heightened state. And for some people, their survival is on the line. And of course, that is incredibly stressful on the body. They require this kind of rest and nourishment and de-stress. And then after this is all over, a whole lot of healing of the trauma. But for those of us that are witnessing things like this conflict in Ukraine play out in social media and in the news, we can, with our empathy and compassion, put ourselves into that perspective. And I've already heard stories of people's anxiety being so heightened that they're in Canada and they hear a firework and they're like, oh no, take cover, we're under attack, because their body is associating that stress with their own life, right? And that they are under attack. And we have to really support the body in coming out of that state of survival into that rest and digest piece. So the other part of the exploring of the perspective is to know how you can detach. Some people are so empathic, so compassionate that they are right there with everyone who is in the stressful situations. It's important to also step back into yourself and understand where you are and where you begin and where the other people are, and have that space energetically and work on your own physicality, because then you can be sovereign in your own body, right? And you can take care of yourself. This is very much a case of all of the beautiful, good-hearted people with all of that empathy and compassion wanting to help. So they're like, if I hold some of this fear and this anxiety and tension in my body, maybe I'm filtering some of it for you. Maybe you are, but it's not our job to filter emotions for other people. So if you're feeling that anxiety and stress in your body, ask yourself, is this even mine? Check into the perspective. Is what you are holding energetically in your body, that stress, that anxiety, that fear, is it even yours? And if it is not, you can return it to the people or just to the earth and choose not to carry it, because you're just taking on a burden that is going to hinder you, and it doesn't actually help anyone. So our perspective gift is going to really support us in being able to step back into our own field, our own body, and let people have their own space as well, right? So there's those 3 different ways we can be playing with this masterclass in perspective that we are getting in March, and already some of that energy is here in February as well. So this is the first piece, the first gift. And when I say gift, I don't mean it's like all nicely wrapped up in a bow that March is giving us. It's basically a masterclass in all of the challenges being presented to us so that we can extract the lessons, right? It's so that we can really get very good and clear and just masterful at supporting ourselves in moving through all of those different perspectives. So tomorrow I'll be sharing more about the second gift of, what was the second one? Responsibility, the ability to respond. And the third one will be that journey into deeper acceptance of reality as is, to empower us to be able to affect change. So if you haven't already taken a peek and subscribed to my YouTube channel, take a peek at that. It's Joy Evolution with Aurora Light. You can check out the full energy report for March today. If you're watching on YouTube, it's just below this. This is also day 40-something of my 365 Live Challenge. I'll be back tomorrow with more deepening of that energy update. And I just want to wish you all a beautiful rest of your day. And I'm sending so much love to you.